This is part three. Ultimately, this section of this series is going to be focused on African Americans creating an economic base here in America. But how do we do that? Because if you think about it, the way the housing projects and some of the situations that black people are put in as far as living situations and not having an economic base like other groups of people, it it really is challenging for black people to come together and create something that is sustainable for all of us, meaning jobs and having our own barbershops, our own grocery stores, having our own waste management companies, having everything as far as our own networks, everything being black. It's hard to find that because the way it's set up is for every black person in America to get a good job once they get an education and to move out of the ghetto or to move in a better neighborhood or more affluent neighborhood where there's not as many African Americans. Now, obviously, there's places that has a large African American population where people are doing well. Charlotte, Atlanta, places of that nature. But truly, we have yet to have another Black Wall Street like we did in Tulsa, Oklahoma, before the cops, the KKK, and the public officials there burnt it down, the black neighborhood that was thriving with its own black businesses, doctors, lawyers, you name it. Black people had it when we were segregated and we were able to build our own businesses without anybody coming in trying to take credit for it or interfering. But now, the way it's set up is that our kids, once they do make it big, everyone is so focused on looking rich rather than creating wealth and creating generational wealth and creating the businesses to allow the black dollar to stay within the black community. Most people who make money that come from the black community are these entertainers and athletes who tend to move into better neighborhoods. Do you blame them? No. However, I take on the idea and philosophy of W.E.B. Du Bois, where he said the top 10% of our community or of the black community has an obligation to go back and help those who are in the hood or those who are less off. And a lot of people don't want to take on this responsibility because it took them so long to get out of that situation. They don't want to have anything to do with trying to go back and help those in the community they just left. It's almost like they want to separate from the struggle or where they came from because it was so bad. But I believe that if we were able to create some type of group or not just entertainers and athletes, but prominent black businessmen and women, doctors, lawyers, we all come together and create something like an organization. And that organization would pay like some kind of union due or fee. And I know we have our fraternities, and those are awesome. But if we had some kind of network where we connected all the movers and shakers, not just our athletes and not just the entertainers, but people who are in these prominent business roles, these financial gurus, and these black people, these people of color came together and created some kind of union due, we could funnel that money into different black communities to build better schools, to uh, build more black businesses and encourage those to come in there to build commercial buildings for black banks, for any type of black grocery stores, and to revitalize these areas that have been gentrified, if you will, by the elites. It's possible. It can happen. But it takes some type of people coming together. And that's really hard in our community because, for whatever reason, and I know why, due to slavery, we have a hard time working together. But that's not just our fault. Obviously, there have been things that have contributed to that. But it's also things within the government and what these elites, what they want to do is destroy the economic base, and they've done that. No other community has struggles to keep the money in their community like the black community. You know, if you go to a white community, Jewish community is different.